Hi, my name is Mike Dixon from Bethesda, Maryland. In this beginner segment, we're going to just talk about ball position and the importance to make sure that the ball is correctly placed in the stance back and forth in your feet and actually away from your body. We talked about equipment and how the club's different in length. Okay, they also differ in loft. Loft is the angle that the club faces on. That difference in loft is going to affect how the ball gets up in the air. So, touching the driver real quick, we're going to notice that it has the least amount of loft. So we're going to have to try to get that ball as far up in our stance, on our left foot if we're right-handed, right foot if we're left-handed, to help get that ball lifting and get it up in the air. And with this, the driver is always going to be on a tee. Advanced player, you might be able to put the ball actually on the ground and hit it off the fairway. Highly unrecommended for beginners and intermediate players. Making sure that ball position starts out good for the driver. Ball's going to be right up off my left foot. You can see how I'm using the shaft on the ground to show where the ball position actually is, and that's going to get me the most optimal shot and optimal loft when I go to hit. The longer the club, just talking about ball placement away from us, you can see how my hands are naturally arms are relaxed. If I get into my driver and I start getting in really straight, you're going to notice this right away when you see someone too. That's too far away. If I go into where my hands are nice and relaxed, see how far away that golf ball is, I need to move that closer so that my arms aren't reaching for that. Okay, vice versa, we don't want to be all crammed in here so I don't have anywhere to swing backwards. Okay, we want our arms in a nice and relaxed position. And this is going to change, going from each club because they're different in length. You can see where my driver is further out, up off of my front foot, and I go into my wedge, my hands and my arms are still going to be in that same position. They don't change. They don't come in closer because the golf club's shorter. Arms are going to be nice and relaxed. Golf ball is going to be in the middle of my stance for my wedge. See how my arms are hanging straight down. So making sure that you get comfortable in finding that spot where the ball has to be distance away from you is going to be really important. Something you definitely want to do on the driving range and get comfortable with moving it around, trying to find the best spot for the most success for you. Going into a different club, next down would be your fairway wood and your hybrids. Again, a little shorter than the driver. So as we go shorter, we're going to slide the ball back further in our stance. This still doesn't have a lot of loft on it. Typically you're not going to hit a fairway wood off the tee. You're going to hit it off the fairway, especially hybrid, maybe out of the rough, giving the lie if the ball's sitting up, good for you. But we're not going to put it up as far as we would with the driver because it's not on the tee. We're going to shift that back about an inch or so. Again, making sure you find that comfortable spot for you is really important. See where that shaft is actually an inch or so off of my heel. Then you go into your irons. The longer the iron, the more it's going to be forward. So your 3 iron, 4 iron, 5 iron, 6 iron are going to be more forward than your 7, 8, 9, and wedge, sandwich. So this is a 5 iron. See where that's going to be up in my stance, close to where my hybrid actually was. If I start getting it too far back, you can see where my hands are going to be forward. That's taking the loft off the club. That club's not going to have the chance to get the ball up in the air. Ball's not going to go as far as we want. Vice versa, if I start going like that, I'm probably going to end up doing this where my hands are actually facing back, where the butt of the club is pointing to my right pocket, which is a huge no-no. You're going to fall backwards when you do that. We want that grip handle pointing towards our pockets. So making sure that you find that comfortable spot for each club is going to be important. We're going to go into our wedge, which is going to be our shortest club. This is the only club that goes to our zipper. Beginner golfers, juniors especially, you can have them start with all their irons in the middle of their stance, woods and hybrids forward in their stance just to start them. Highly recommend the more that they get to practice and they start to figure out where the ball is, moving it up forward a little bit, help get that ball up in the air. So wedge is going to be in the center. Again, it's the shortest club. My arms are still hanging straight down, just like I showed you in the beginning, like the driver, but that ball's dead center. If I start to move it up forward, I'm going to probably increase the chance of me hitting it thin. I'm not going to get the ball up in the air like I normally would. For a shorter shot, like a pitch, when I want the ball really high up in the air, yes, we're going to move that ball forward. Vice versa, if we hit a chip, we're going to move that ball back. A chip necessarily doesn't have to just be with your sand wedge, though. You can have chip with any club, really, 8 iron, 6 iron, 7 iron, 9 iron, whatever it might be. But that's the only time that ball actually goes right up off our rear foot. So making sure that we're not back there, because we don't want to deal off the club too much. Making sure that the ball is center for all our clubs in our full swing and moving forward is going to be really important. So hopefully that's helpful in trying to find that good ball position for you to help increase your consistency of hitting the ball well and hitting that good shot. Thanks for using My Swing Online. My name is Mike Dixon. See you next time.